Now, from the WCCO Live Desk, you're watching CBS News Minnesota.
Good morning. I'm Barrett Leone in for Maria Lizignoli. It's 10 o'clock live in the WCCO newsroom. Thanks for joining us here at the Live Desk. Happening this morning, a new one-stop resource center is opening in St. Paul. It's aiming to help youth and young families access critical services under one roof. Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota, or LSS, is behind the new Center for Changing Lives University. The facility is expected to service more than 1,100 families and young people each year. The space includes an early learning center, childcare, a youth resource center, counseling, employment services, and transitional housing for folks experiencing homelessness, among other things. The center is located on University Avenue in St. Paul, and the nonprofit says it was intentionally designed to expand resources in St. Paul's Frogtown and Rondo neighborhoods. The new center is expected to begin serving families this fall, and we do have a photojournalist there at the grand opening. We'll bring you any updates later on here on CBS News Minnesota. And new this morning, Minnesota-based Hormel Foods has a new CEO. The company's current president, John Gingo, will add CEO to his title this October, succeeding interim CEO Jeff Ettinger. Hormel says since becoming president last year, he's led the company's strategic growth efforts. He brings more than 25 years worth of leadership across consumer packaged goods industry. And Ettinger will remain on the board until after he's been able to help guide this leadership transition. And we do have new details about a cyber attack yesterday targeting the water supply of several Minnesota cities. Now, at least 4 cities reported being hit by the cyber attack with varying degrees of impact. The Brom water plant went totally offline temporarily and had to rely on what they had in their water tower. Plymouth said the attack impacted communication between some water towers and other facilities. All 4 cities say their water quality was not impacted. We asked the state how many cities were impacted. The Minnesota IT department told us in part, quote, "We continue to work with our partners to assess the scope of the incident." Our Adam Dexter is following this developing story and will bring you an update on WCCO at noon. A legal battle is stopping a state ban on certain kinds of online betting, at least for now. A new Minnesota law to ban prediction markets. It was supposed to take effect on August 1st, but now it has to wait until a federal lawsuit plays out. Prediction markets let people place bets on the outcome of pretty much anything from weather to sports to the winners at an award show. Minnesota lawmakers passed the ban during the last session, and supporters of the ban say prediction markets are an unregulated form of gambling and could encourage actions similar to insider trading. But the federal government joined popular betting sites Kalshi and Polymarket to sue Minnesota over the ban. President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will be attending a funeral today for the late Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. There will be a special ceremony at the U.S. Capitol today and a funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral. President Trump is expected to speak at the funeral. Graham's remains will then travel to South Carolina for a procession tomorrow, followed by a funeral service and a private burial. Graham died earlier this month at the age of 71. We have stunning footage to show you from a tornado that hit some Wisconsin communities yesterday afternoon. This is dash cam video, and it shows strong winds pulling down power lines in Appleton. You can see what looks like bursts of electricity in the background. We've got another view from that same car. You can see wind tearing through the trees before a power pole landed on the street just feet from where the person was driving. And check out this new look at damage from above the city of Minnesota. The National Weather Service says an extremely dangerous EF2 tornado took aim at eastern Wisconsin. It centered around Appleton and some surrounding communities there. We are in the middle of another hot stretch here, and while it's more comfortable outside today, the level of humidity that we've seen recently is rare in the Twin Cities. Now, Joe Strews, he is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, Twin Cities. He says it's a result of a bit of a perfect storm of air from the Pacific and the Gulf and something that's known as corn sweat. This time of year, mature crops release moisture into the air, and that increases our humidity rather. He says 80-degree dew points are just about unheard of here in the Twin Cities.
This is exceptionally rare. We have only spent, before today, Minneapolis had only spent 28 hours of recorded weather history with an 80-degree or warmer dew point. That's not a lot.
In fact, he says we've only had 81-degree dew points or higher 5 times in recorded history. It's also only happened in July. The record dew point is 82. We had that 15 years ago around this time. And check this cool video out from the North Shore. The Viking Oceantis was in port in Duluth yesterday, Monday. The ship was captured by the Duluth Harbor live camera at Harbor Plaza and the Great Lakes Aquarium. This is a sped up shot here. You can see the ship cruising around. This clip includes cool video of it turning around before it finally leaves Duluth. Now, this 15-day cruise is a part of the Great Lakes collection. Prices start at nearly $17,000 per person. Let's take a live look outside downtown Minneapolis. It's another day in the 90s. Twin Cities hit 100 degrees. That's the first time that's happened since June 2022. That happened yesterday. Today, though, it's a bit more comfortable outside. The weather tower is blue, coming off of yesterday's extreme heat. And it's time now to get an update from Next Weather meteorologist Joseph Dames.
The morning has been in the 60s for us, and so that's more comfortable. Yesterday it was 80 degrees. That's a lot of moisture to work with, and we've scooted most of that out of the way. And yes, it's still going to be a little humid. It's summer. We still have a little bit of moisture around, but at least we don't have like a full bucket's worth to go swimming in. Still hot today. It's just not going to be as extreme. So we hit 100. First time we did that since 2022 yesterday. And we also hit our super high dew point. So yesterday was just a terrible day as far as heat goes. Let's go straight to number 3 because we talked about the dew points coming down some. So we'll be living in so that's a little more comfortable. Storm chances will increase though late in the week. We'll probably see dew points come up again. We'll use some of that moisture for storms, and I see that probably Thursday and Friday. And then once we get beyond that, at least for now, tentatively, your weekend looks dry. Satellite and radar showing a few clouds down south, as well as maybe a little bit of rain, some showers and storms to the east. That's all part of the same complex that moved through Wisconsin and Illinois yesterday that brought in severe weather. Behind that whole system, though, we've had drier air and slightly cooler air. Right now versus this time yesterday at 9:30, it's like 10 to 15 degrees cooler in some spots. I still have us fighting to about 91 this afternoon, 80s up to the north, and a bit cooler there for the North Shore and South Shore. As I walk you through the rest of the day, you'll just see a few clouds passing on by. Models are trying to pick up on maybe just an isolated shower down to the southwest. I honestly think it's just going to be on the dry side for us today. Wednesday, though, a little bit different, especially Wednesday night. Look what happens once we get into the evening hours. You'll see a line of some showers and storms trying to develop up north. At this point in time, weather models are like going back and forth if we actually are going to get something Wednesday night. So
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties. We will have an update from Joseph here in a little bit. Now, the Minnesota Vikings veterans, they are checking into training camp today. The Vikings general manager Nolan Teasley and head coach Kevin O'Connell will address the media today. The first practice is tomorrow. And the first practice that's open to the public, that is Saturday. The Vikings open their season September 13th against the Green Bay Packers. Let's check in with Mike Max for a look at what else is coming up today in sports.
They're back trying to stay in contention. The trade deadline looming. One player that's not going anywhere is Andrew Morris. He's been too effective out of the bullpen as both a middle reliever and sometimes closer. He says his big league life, he likes it.
I mean, I've learned so much from all the guys in Penn and from Raj and Banda and Hawk and everybody. Like, it's been really special to be here, and I'm just, it's fun to get to compete every day with these guys.
Twins and Kansas City Royals at Target Field tonight. Minnesota Lynx are back in action. They take on Toronto after the All-Star break. Of course, several on the team were involved in the All-Star game, including Kayla McBride, who said even though she played, it was an opportunity to get some rest.
Yeah, I got a lot of rest this weekend. It was nice. Yeah, Chicago, I still had a lot of fun, seeing everything. Liv's first time, I really took all of that in, but definitely got some good rest for sure.
We're back at 6 and 10 with the latest on the Minnesota Vikings and much more on WCCO TV. For CBS News Minnesota, I'm Mike Max, and that is your morning look at sports.
Thanks, Maxie. Still to come, we're getting advice on which car tech features are worth it and which you might want to avoid. And it impacts all of us. It impacts our bank account, but what about the ballot box? Do gas prices actually influence elections? It's a good question.